The chapter picks up with Thomas André facing off against the Apostle of Conquest. However, this is not a battle, it's a massacre. With ease, the newest monarch effortlessly ragdolls the Apostle using New York City as his fighting ring. Confused and frustrated, the Apostle of Conquest asks Thomas how he acquired such power. Smiling at his defeated opponent, Thomas answered the Tower of Trials. For those that don't know, the Trial of Towers is a tool created by Jinho, Ajin Corporation's president Amut, the monarch of trials, and Harmakan, a successor of Kandiaru, which allows humans to level up and strengthen themselves by playing the VR game, Solo Leveling Ragnarok. By following the life of Jinwoo, players must survive and learn what it means to overcome adversity. Using virtual reality, human souls are transferred to the tower and enter an instant dungeon, experiencing an out-of-body sensation that allows them to push their limits without the risk of their bodies dying. Thomas explains that since he was the first player to try the new game, he leveled up the fastest and ended up the farthest, until he met the King of Giants deep within the gigantic gate in the middle of Japan. However, unlike Jinwoo, who gained experience carefully killing the chained giant by stabbing him continuously and staying outside of the monarch's clutches, Thomas broke Legia, the King of Giants' chains, and ordered him to battle. Recalling his battle against the beast monarch in a previous life, Thomas wanted revenge. He realized why Jinwoo was so much stronger than he was. Since André was an S rank, on top of that, a national rank hunter, he had grown accustomed to fighting the weak and never had a chance to fight opponents stronger than himself until he met Jinwoo and the monarchs. Seeing this as an opportunity to level up, he freed Legia. But the challenge would prove to be too much for him, for as soon as he broke the last chain, Legia blitzed André and delivered a blow with full force, instantly killing him. But thanks to the Tower of Trials, it was not the end. Although the exchange was quick, it was the sensation of touching death, allowing his soul to visit the sea of afterlife and absorb a bit of its nutrients. And since it was close to the World Tree, it allowed Thomas to go through a small reawakening, making him a bit stronger. As Thomas returned to life, Legia looked at him in confusion. He knew that he had killed him. Just getting warmed up, Thomas clenched his fist and charged at the giant. Like before, he was effortlessly killed, but also like before, he was resurrected and ready to fight. This cycle continued many times. With each time he fell, Thomas rose back up stronger, with more accumulated combat experience, learning more about Legia's patterns and weaknesses. This allowed his vessel to grow stronger and more resilient. After hundreds upon thousands of matches, the battle began to take a toll on Legia. Although he had killed Thomas many times, Thomas came back as if nothing had happened, both physically and mentally. Even with each new fight, Thomas returned with the same burning fighting spirit. Noticing this, André provoked the giant. He told Legia to remember his name and that, as humanity's strongest hunter, it was his job to take down prey such as himself. Thomas knew that he could have taken the easy route and killed Legia while he was chained. Honestly, if this were real life like Jinwoo, he would have carried out the same actions. However, since it was a game, he could die as many times as it took. Through playing the game, André learned that fighting the weak is mere violence, but fighting the strong, that is true courage. Living through Jinwoo's life, he saw how Jinwoo had lived his entire life as an underdog, constantly facing death yet charging at the strong regardless. This was the secret to his strength. Although André also had a difficult past living in the slums, he was blessed with a strong body, capable of towering over others. But Jinwoo was different. Even his son was following in his footsteps, doing everything he could to be able to stand next to his father. Thomas couldn't afford to fall behind. Because in his previous life, he was unable to protect the world when he was needed most. He couldn't falter now. And before Thomas knew it, Legia laid on the floor exhausted, waiting for his death. Before Thomas could land the final blow, Legia began to laugh. A bright light flashed, covering the entire dungeon in light, and where Legia once lay, now stood Amit, the monarch of trials. He rejoiced and laughed, stating that Thomas had proven himself to be a worthy vessel. After unlocking a hidden quest and completing it, he was rewarded with the primordial darkness of the King of Giants, making him the new king and monarch of conquest. Now in the present, witnessing the immense power of Thomas Andre, the White House no longer deemed him a S-rank hunter. Now he was a monster, with power capable of threatening an entire nation. A national-level hunter.